Hi everybody, this is Osprey from mychartcoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at Bitcoin and some of the Bitcoin related stocks. So as you can see here, this is the man, it has here we go. You can see this is the chart we've been working on here on TradingView, and you know it formed the tight channels here, and then it broke out, and then it ran up to the next level, formed the tight channel, broke out, and then what happened was on the candle here on the 1st of December, it broke above this red ascending resistance line, which was the top of the channel, and so now it's been riding that has turned into support, and so we're using it now as a sort of stop loss level. Once the share price closes below this red line, that's going to be a signal that the chart's cooling down. It's currently at 11,500, and so you know it has to pull back. You know, we would have to pull back to do that, but it would be the close below that would be a signal that it's starting to pull back into this previous channel. And so as long as it's riding above this red line, the chart is super strong. You know, it's extremely parabolic right now. It's on a crazy push. It's doing what we call an Eiffel Tower pattern. You know, if you stretch it out here to the first of the year, and you look how steep this pattern is here, you know, when it gets really vertical like this, and it's a double black diamond, you know, straight up cliff, you know, the pullback to the other side can be steep, and so yeah, so you have to be concerned about that going forward. But right now, it's still pushing harder. You know, keep an eye on the candle here that's forming. A red candle could signal that it's starting to cool down. The EMA or the simple the 9-day simple moving average is way down here, and so that is the big support level below this red ascending support line. If it came down and it broke below the 9-day simple moving average, that would be a big sign of weakness, similar to back here in November when it broke below the blue line here is the 9-day simple moving average, and it broke below, and that signaled the big pullback. And so yeah, so just things to look out for. You know, they are going to start the futures trading now on CBOE is going to start on Sunday. So keep that in mind. So take a look here at the New York Stock Exchange Bitcoin Index. Okay, this is NYXBT, and so this is pretty cool. As you can see right now, it's pushing super hard. You've got our RSI back up in the bull zone. It's at 72. You have Fasto at 100. You know, it's busting through the upper Bollinger Band right now, and so as you can see here, the candle, or not the candle, but the share price is above the upper Bollinger Band. That is this the purple line here, currently over here at 11,300. Okay, so it's at 11,422 right now, and it's breaking through. If you look at it historically in the past, okay, so you go back here in August, it broke above the upper Bollinger Band, and it pulled back. It broke above the upper Bollinger Band and pulled back. Broke above and pulled back. Okay, so you know, it got above slightly, you know, hit back into the Bollinger Band, and then it shot up. But then once it did, it pulled back into the bands. And then once again, that happened again in November. And then you know, you had this big last push, right? And then you know, it did have a couple of days where it pushed higher, but then they worked back into the bands. So here you are again, breaking through the top of the upper Bollinger Band. So it's getting frothy. You know, you have Fasto at 100. You know, you have to be on the lookout for it cooling down here. It may not be today, but it's going to be in the next, you know, it's going to be coming up soon here, more than likely, where it'll take a breather. And then the big level to hold is going to be EMA 4 at 10,616. You know, if it drops below EMA 4, then you can see it drop all the way down here to 9,959. As long as the middle Bollinger Band way down here at 8,334 is holding, this uptrend is intact. It's been in this really nice uptrend. You know, it dropped below here in September, double bottomed, got back above, and the uptrend continued. So as long as the uptrend's happening, you know, it's you know, can keep heading higher. You know, keep an eye out for potential double top here. But yeah, so what we're thinking is that heading into the end of the week, you know, we have to be looking for people to be locking in gains possibly. So keep an eye out for that, you know, because who knows what's going to happen after the futures trading. And so you know, they're starting the futures trading to short Bitcoin, and so So we're going to see if how that plays out on Sunday night, and then see everybody's not a lot of people, if you're in GBTC, you will not be able to make a move until Monday. And so Sunday, you can see some wild volatility. We just have to see what happens. Who knows? This is a big experiment. So what's going on here is you've got a really frothy situation. You have RSI at 88 and Fasto at 99. So Fasto's nearly maxed here. You've got this candle is forming above the upper Bollinger Band. It's been doing that for multiple days. This has been following Bitcoin's movement. It's pushing really hard. It's at 18,000 or 1824. And if you guys remember, we had been talking over and over again about the 1000 level. That was right here, the high close from back here in September, and it seemed like such a big number at the time. It had kept pulling back, and everybody thought it was crazy. The 1000, and then finally when it broke above, and we did put out the alerts on this on the 23rd, that was the big signal it wanted to head higher, and it's up $824 from that day, and 1,000 was a break above 1,000 was the signal to load, because it was breaking out higher. We had talked all about that, and so that's really cool that happened. As you can see here, it looked like there was a cup, and you got the cup handle break above the neckline and the breakout higher. And so what's going on now is the EMA4 at 1648. If that level breaks, that's going to be a signal it's cooling down. It's been holding this whole time. The last time it broke was over here, and that's when it went all the way down to the middle Bollinger Band, and that's what could happen here, and that would be a major haircut. So that's what you have to be on the lookout for. It's pushing so hard. If you see it drop below that EMA4 and close it below, there's the next support levels are well below that level, and you could see a drop all the way down to that middle Bollinger Band. Okay, let's look at OSTK. So Overstock.com did bounce today. Congrats everyone. Made the really nice move. As you can see here, it formed a bullish Harami reversal pattern, and so we were looking for a bounce off of the 50-day simple moving average zone, a support zone, and so that was cool to see it bounce today. As you can see here, the white candle today formed inside of Friday's red candle. And so that formed bullish Harami, and so that was following 5 red candles in a row, and the share price hit the key level to break, which is EMA4 at 47.48. That's the pink line here. It needs to get above that level to head higher. A close above EMA4 signals more upside, and then we'll be looking at trying to break this EMA's 813 in the middle Bollinger Band, basically this 50 to 51, 52 resistance zone. And so a close above 47.50 signals it's still in play and it wants to head higher. If it fails to break that level, that's going to signal more downside risk. As stocks in a downtrend, they ride EMA4 resistance lower, and that would put the 50-day simple moving average at 41 on deck. So it's really important that it gets followed through here and it breaks that EMA4 resistance. Fail to do so, that's going to be a signal that the downtrend is strong, and it could continue heading lower. So really important for it to get back above resistance here and follow through. If you look here at NVDA, okay, so this is an example of a stock that broke the 50-day simple moving average and kept dropping lower. Right now, it is at very oversold levels on Fasto. It's at 6.5. RSI is at 33. So it's really close to that 30 oversold level. Down here, what happened today was the big break below the 50-day simple moving average. We put out the warnings that needed to hold at 198. That did not hold today, and the share price dropped like a rock. It came all the way down to the next support level that we said could be the potential downside risk, and that was the 100-day simple moving average at 182. Notice how it bounced before that. Everybody loaded up their orders at 183, so the share price bounced at more 184, 185. What was the low today? 184.50. So you have to use game theory. If everybody's shooting for that 100, sometimes you have to put it a little bit higher. But right now, you don't want to catch a falling knife. That could signal more pain and suffering. And so what you need to do is follow the 15-minute chart to try to time the bounce, and that needs to turn bullish. You need to have candles forming above the middle Bollinger Band, and then get above the 50 simple moving average on the 15-minute chart for NVDA to officially be back in play. Now, if it can hold this 180 1083 support level, the 100-day simple moving average, then it could bounce. The candles could work back into the bands. The next big resistance level to break is EMA4 at 195. It could work its way back up to that level, fail to break it, and continue with the downtrend. So right now it's in a very strong downtrend. The bulls are clear, or bears are clearly in control. It has to hold the 100-day simple moving average. If it doesn't, there's really big downside risk because you have the 200-day simple moving average at 152 as the next support level. Okay, let's look at MARA. Okay, so yeah, this failed to follow through today. It looked promising on Friday with the big close above resistance. It had a nice open today. As you can see here on the open, it opened at 534. And the high was at 540. So the high happened at the beginning of the day, and the share price pulled back, and it actually formed a bearish pattern today. It formed bearish engulfing reversal pattern. So this is a strong reversal pattern. Many times a share price does pull back after this pattern forms. We'll see if that's the case to with this setup here. It's been holding this 300-day simple moving average at 406 for days. So that is the big level. Right now, it has to stay, bulls to stay really bullish, to have the chart be still super strong. It needs to stay above EMA4 at 456. That's the pink line. If it drops below that, that'll be a signal it's cooling down. And then the must-hold level is this 300-day simple moving average, because if that breaks, there's this gap that we've been talking about down here, and you could see a drop down to 275 to fill the gap. So it needs to hold that $4 support zone. If it fails to do so, it could head lower to the. If it holds that EMA4, then we're looking at the upper Bollinger Band at 612 and the gap between these two candles to fill. So a run up to 625. So yeah, so keep an eye on it. Let's look at SSC. Okay, so this stock pulled back. It is still in the bull zone on our side, it's still above 50. Fasto now is at oversold levels. It had the big move, it had the big run, hit up at 490, it pulled back, and then the candles have worked their way all the way back down to the middle Bollinger Band. It bounced off that level last week on Thursday, and then it came back down. It hit that level again today. It's currently at 240. That is the key level to hold. Notice you have the 300, the 100, the 200, and the 50-day simple moving averages all below. And then the middle Bollinger Band is the 20-day simple moving average. So it's got all the support below. All right, it just has to get back above EMA4 at 261. If it can get above that level, then it could run up to the $3 level. That's the upper Bollinger Band. And then the closing price here on, what is that, the 23rd, 24th. And so if it could break that level here on the 24th at 315, then that could signal it wants to head higher. So this is 240 is the load zone if it holds. Okay, so it's pulled back, it's consolidated. This is where it should bounce. If it fails to bounce, it has all these support levels right here. This is a level that it should be able to bounce off. It would be a red flag if it didn't. Okay, let's look at AMD. Okay, so yeah, this is another one of those broken charts. All right, it's oversold on RSI, so it's down here at these oversold levels where it bounced from before. Fasto is very oversold as well. It's back down here at these bounce levels. When the stock gets extreme oversold levels, you will get a technical bounce many times. It depends on how quickly will that happen. It can take a little bit for to keep dropping in the meantime. Right now, this is hitting the double bottom level. Okay, so this is hitting the $10 double bottom level. This is where it should bounce. All right, it's hitting the May bottom. All right, at $10, and right below that is the January support zone down here between 950 and 10. And so this is a huge support zone. If it fails to hold 10, then it needs to hold 950. This is the big level because it could have a big drop further if it fails to bounce off this. We've been watching this just break through all the moving averages. The bears have just been killing it on this one. It's just been super bearish. It can't get above the middle Bollinger Band. It tried to here, couldn't get above the 300-day simple moving average, kept dropping lower. Now it had another big pullback. There was some loading off of low of day. Notice the lower wick, so that's promising with the volume spike. People were there's bottom feeders here. The big level to break is the EMA4 at 1056. If it can get above that level, then it could work its way back above the middle Bollinger Band. It has to get all the way back up to 1123 and turn the level into support to get a new uptrend going. So it has a lot of work to do. keep an eye on AMD for potential bounce off this $9.50 to $10 support zone. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, come check this out in our really cool mobile chat app. And yeah, it's a great tool. Come and join the premium so that you can get all the greatest, the best alerts and information that we have going. Okay, thank you.